Thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a great weekend. Let's check in now in Studio B for a preview of what's ahead on Sports Overtime.
Well, thank you very much, Angela and Allison. Coming up on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night, we got Kentucky highlights. Of course, the Wildcats improving to 5-3 overall, just one win away now from bowl eligibility. Meanwhile, the play of the week, you got to stay tuned for that because that comes from Northwest Missouri State versus Pittsburgh State. Got to see what happened in that game. And that and much more coming up on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Welcome into the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. I am Jamie McCracken. Tons to come on the show tonight, and we start with the Kentucky Wildcats. And who would have thought after a 0-2 start that the football Cats would be 5-3 after today's game in Missouri? Let's roll it back, see what happened today. Boom Williams ready to go, and well, Boom got us going here. First quarter. Boom! 60 yards to the house, 7-0 Cats, 4-play, 80-yard drive. Boom had 19 carries for a $182 on the ground. Second quarter, same score. Not anymore. Steven Johnson, one of the prettiest throws he's had all season long. Jeff Badette in stride. 65 to the house. 14-0 Cats. Johnson, of course, 3-1 as a starter going into this game. Benny Snell Jr. now out of the Wildcat. Gets in, 7th touchdown of the season. Ties Randall Cobb for most touchdowns by a freshman at Kentucky. 21-0 Cats. Missouri does not score a touchdown until late in the second quarter. Drew Lock, how about this throw and catch? Demetrius Mason, go get it, brother. 21-7 Kentucky at the break after that 27-yard touchdown. Let's go third quarter. Johnson, big trouble. Somehow just throws a basketball-type chest pass to Boom Williams, and he gone 13 yards to the house. 28-7 Cats. Mark Stoops loving what he sees. Very first play in the fourth quarter, it's Benny Snell again, breaks the Randall Cobb freshman touchdown record. That's his 8th touchdown of the season, 18 yards as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Kentucky wins 35-21, 4th SEC victory of the season, improving to 5-3 overall. And yes, look at the stats. First time in school history that Kentucky had 2 players rush for 175 yards apiece in an SEC game. And this also marks the first time UK has rushed for at least 250 yards against 3 straight SEC opponents since 1977.
The guys were fighting, and we talked about that. We were going to fight the whole way through. We were going to stay aggressive, and we were going to compete for 60 minutes. And that was our mindset, and that was the players' mentality. And that's what they did. It's a very good group, and we're excited. I think for the first time, this isn't about relief of winning the game. This is about, how much more we can do. And I believe that's what's fun about this group is the mentality to go back to work Monday for another challenge. And that's when it's fun.
Heisman frontrunner Lamar Jackson at number 5 Louisville at Virginia. First quarter, Jackson. Smooth strike right there to Jamari Staples, 15-yard touchdown, 7-3 Cards. Just Jamari Staples' 2nd touchdown of the season. But with 1:57 to go in the game, Kurt Benkirk throws a 4-yard touchdown pass to Donovan Doling, 2-point conversion, good. Cavaliers up on the Cards, 25-24. Oh, but Lamar Jackson just takes about a step and then launches it with 18 seconds to go. Jalen Smith, 29-yard touchdown pass. Oh, yeah, I feel you, man. That's the game winner. Take another look. 32-25, number 5, Louisville survives a scare in Charlottesville. All right, number 10, West Virginia Stillwater battling Oklahoma State. WVU trying to stay undefeated. Dana Holgerson ready to go. Cowboys up 6-3 in the second. That is until Shelton Gibson makes an outstanding grab right there in the touchdown. They lead 10-6. WVU down 17 to start the fourth. Howard on the quarterback draw from 12 yards out. Good for 6, but the Cowboys not going to let West Virginia come in their house and win. Mason Rudolph, the touchdown pass to Chris Lacey. Oklahoma State hands West Virginia its first loss of the season, 37-20 in Stillwater. Next on the show, our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week between UPIKE and Union, plus Oh my goodness, show the video, Director Jonathan. We got college basketball, the UPIKE basketball team back in action as the 19th ranked Bears. They won their first 2 games. We will show you the highlights from their 3rd game of the season. Welcome back into the show. Nice heart wipe there coming back, Director Jonathan. That was excellent. Yeah. Our second Appalachian Wireless game of the week was back in Barberville today. The Union Bulldogs hosting the UPIKE Bears. Heart wipe. Oh, you just dissolved into it. Okay, UPIKE in 2nd place in the Mid-South Conference East Division. Union in 4th. First quarter, no score. Isaiah ready. Ready or not, there he goes. 61 yards. Bulldogs lead 7-0 after the extra point. It was 14-0 at the half. 3rd quarter, Miles Blewin. He only had 2 carries, but this was a big one. Almost in, down at the 1-yard line. Now just 10 seconds to go in the 3rd. Quarterback keeper here, Russell Gordon, says, I'll punch it in. 14-7, UPIKE cuts the lead to a touchdown. 2 minutes to go in the game. Here comes the knockout blow, and it's ready again, because he's always ready. Man, the freshman. He rushed for a $142. All 3 touchdowns for Union goes to him, and Spikage. The Bulldogs win 20-7 over UPIKE.
You know, Union College has been down for a long time, and we've got a lot to overcome, and we all do in life. And I hope that our guys don't just take away a great win over adverse situations here, but that they can go on in life, and when things happen to them, it's how you react. It's not whether or not you get knocked down or injured or lose your job. It's how you react to it. And I was really amazed at how well they played today. I'm going to be honest, I did not expect this. I'm totally impressed by what the kids did.
All right, let's go to Williamsburg. Cumberland's hosting Bluefield today. I like the jerseys that UC was wearing. 2nd play of the game, Bluefield's Alex Martin. He gone. 58 yards all the way home. 7-0 Rams early in the 1st quarter. But it's our turn, says the Patriots. Josiah Robinson's to LeSean Jones, 5-yard touchdown there, basically in triple coverage. Ties it up at 7. Bluefield looking to put 3 more points on the board, but it's blocked. Jalen Benjamin, pick it up, get out of bounds. Pats get the ball on their own 4-yard line to get some breathing room. They gotta get it to Jalen Smith. Puts him near midfield, then the Pats will march all the way down the field, and Robbins punches it in. 21-10 at the half, and Cumberland's goes on to win it on senior day, 28-13. The Patriots go to number 15 Georgetown next week to close out the regular season. All right, staying on the scoreboard, the UVA-wise Cavaliers win 39-36 over Urbana. That gives the Cavs their first winning season since 2008 when they went 8-3. Another great high school football week here in the state of Kentucky. Now it is time to play win or go home football in the state. The regular season wrapped up last night. Here is a recap in this week's Lee's Famous Recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg 2-minute drill.
Get it close up. Get it close up.
The high school football regular season wrapped up across the state last night. Here in the mountains, one team finished the regular season undefeated. The Paintsville Tigers demolished Shelby Valley to complete their 2nd perfect regular season in a row. Across the street, Johnson Central could not keep their record unblemished. The number 1 ranked team in the mountains showed their power. Belfry goes into the playoffs looking for their 4th straight state title. And for the Pirates to do that, they might have to go through Corbin.
Sizemore rainbows one to the end zone, and it's caught for a Corbin touchdown.
The Redhounds shut out the Knox Central Panthers in the regular season finale. After an emotional win over Pulaski County last week, Southwestern fell to Lexcath. Meanwhile, back in Pulaski County, Jake Johnson broke the state record for most receiving yards in a career. The Maroons will have a rematch of their season opener versus Harlan County in the first round of the playoffs. The Black Bears put the Bobcats of Bell County on a stretcher last night, putting up 48 points in the win. Whitley County finishes up its best season since 2008, but lost to the Leslie County Eagles in Hyden. Meanwhile, the Eagles finished 9-1, their best season since 1994. Lawrence County won back-to-back games for the first time this season.
Touchdown, Bulldogs!
The Bulldogs defeated a Prestonsburg team that will host Somerset in the first round of the postseason. Postseason. Gotta like that word. We are now just 5 weeks away from the state championships in Bowling Green. This has been the least famous recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg 2-minute drill. All right, how about some college basketball? Number 19, UPIKE hosting Bob Jones out of South Carolina. UPIKE 2-0 in the season. Bruins hitting some shots early. Justin Matthews, splash ball. Visitors on top by 2. Bears, though, getting going. Arzay Colbreth gets the steal and the deal. Little finger roll. That ties it up. More defense. Chase Parsley comes up with a steal here. Give me that basketball. Pushes it up the courts. Give him the assist because Jordan Perry lays it in. UPIKE by 3. Parsley now getting in on the action. Finger roll. Did that a lot at Sheldon Clark off the glass. Increase lead to 5. Then similar play later. Perry gets some of that. Had a team high 18. UPIKE on a 12-4 run. Perry then gets an assist. The kick out to Marshall Bennett. How's your 3-ball, Mr. Bennett? Real good. You get the point. UPIKE wins 94-73. Up next, we have our play of the week. You can't miss this thing. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. Plus, we go back to 2008 for this week's Sports Overtime Rewind and revisit the Class 5A Region 4 championship game. All right, despite losing last night to Leslie County, the Whitley County Colonels still finish their best regular season in nearly a decade. In tonight's Sports Overtime Rewind, we go back to 2008 when the Colonels advanced to the state semifinals, and they got there by beating Letcher Central in the region championship game.
October 10th, that was the first time Whitley County and Letcher Central met. The Colonels walked away with a hard-fought 22-14 victory. It was a physical matchup, to say the least. Jim Black told us earlier in the week that we should expect the same tonight. It was very physical. Letcher and Whitley County getting ready for action. It's a coin toss. You do that and then you determine who gets the ball and which way you're going. On the opening kickoff, Alex Patrick on the return. Going to take it up the gut, make a couple people miss. Going to break loose before finally being taken out. Why does only Derek Forrest get these long kickoff returns in his highlights? I don't know. On that same drive, the Colonels facing a 4th and 2. Jamie LeBanion fakes the handoff, keeps himself, picking up the first down, keeping the drive alive. 2 plays later, the handoff to Jason Powers, picks up the first down inside the 10-yard line. This is what they do. They pick up 10 yards, 8 yards at a time. Very next play, it's Powers. Once again, gets the handoff, going to power his way in for the score. Colonels go up 6-0. On the next Letcher Central possession, Charlie Banks, he's good, takes a snap, fakes to the back, keeps it himself, going to pick up the first down the back. He always twists and turns his way and picks up extra yards. He's tough, he's a gamer. Later in the drive, Greg Collins with the carry on the sweep. Cody Bowling steps up with a good hit, taking Collins out of bounds. They said there'd be some big hits in this game. 2 plays later, it's Bowling again. This time with the pick of Charlie Banks, running down the sideline, but he'd be forced out of bounds, but still the turnover going to stand. On that possession, Cody Jones takes a sweep down the right side, picks up 11 yards on the play. That's a good gain. Then Jones would finish it off with a run up the middle as he finds the end zone. Whitley goes up 14-0. That's good for the Colonels, bad for the Cougars. On the kickoff, there's the ball in the air. There's Drew Bentley returning it. Going to be moving, but guess what? Bolin shows up again in the highlights, strips the football. It's recovered by Patrick. The Colonels getting those turnovers, but they could not punch it in. So LeBanion going to step up and kick the 26-yard field goal, up to 17-0. We go to the scoreboard. LeBanion can kick field goals like that? Yeah. Why not? Sold some popcorn too. Whitley County wins 38-8. That's impressive. They move on to host Highlands next week.
All right, best part of the show tonight, play of the week time. Northwest Missouri hosting Pittsburgh State. Last play of the half, Pitt State sophomore quarterback John Roderick. He's intercepted by Kevin Berg at the 6. Time's expired. He's on the run. Bishop goes clear to the 35-yard line. Then up. He pitches it back. Edward Ritchie's got it. Nope. Jared Bishop's got it. Nope. Harold Brantley, a 6'3", 280-pound lineman, strutting his stuff. You just can't make that stuff up right there. By the way, Northwest Missouri State wins the game 69-10. Yeah. Pittsburgh State and Northwest Missouri State, our play of the week. I don't know. First round of the high school football playoffs this coming Friday. And of course, we will see you here with a new edition of the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime. Want to mention Kentucky now in sole possession. There ain't nobody close in second place with the Tennessee Volunteers losing tonight. I'm sorry, Sarah Jane. I know you're prompting. You've already, yeah. There's no words left in the prompter. Okay, it isn't in the script, and this isn't either. See you later. Have a happy and safe Halloween.